Mosul, 2004. You're in a room on the third floor of a building that doesn't appear on any map. Downstairs, a man who knows where 43 American hostages are being held. He's been there for 6 hours. He hasn't said anything. Your commander comes in. He puts a photograph on the table. The man looks at it. He starts talking. You don't ask what's in the photograph. That's the job. You write down everything he says. 43 people come home. You never appear in any report. You never existed in that room. That's Delta Force. Level 1. The candidate. You've been in the army for 4 years. 75th Rangers. 2 deployments. You know what you're doing. Then you see the notice. 1 paragraph. No unit name. No description of duties. Just a time and a location and the instruction to bring nothing that identifies you. You show up. A man in civilian clothes looks at you for a moment. He says, "Most of you will be gone by Friday." He says, "That's not an insult. That's just what this is." The selection course is 18 days. Nobody tells you the standards. That's intentional. You either meet them or you don't. Day 1, a rucksack march. Distance unknown. Time limit unknown. You just walk until they tell you to stop. Your feet bleed through your boots by mile 12. You keep walking. Day 4, land navigation alone. No partner, no radio. Mountains in West Virginia. Checkpoints that move. You find them all. Some people don't come back from day 4. Not dead, just gone. Their gear is collected quietly. Nobody explains what happened. Nobody asks. Day 18. A man sits across from you. He asks you one question. He says, "Why do you want to do this?" You tell him the truth. 3 days later, you get the answer. You're in. Level 2. The operator. Operator training course. 6 months. This is where they turn soldiers into something else. Shooting first. You already know how to shoot. Now you learn to shoot differently. Thousands of rounds a week. Moving targets. Hostage scenarios. Shooting through glass. Shooting in the dark. Shooting while moving. Shooting while someone is shooting at you. You get to a point where the gun is not a weapon anymore. It's just an extension of a decision you already made. Then driving, evasive driving, pursuit driving, how to take a vehicle from 60 to 0 in a controlled crash, how to follow a target through a city without being seen, how to lose a tail in 4 moves. Then language, Arabic, Farsi, Pashto, not fluency, enough to understand what's being said in a room before anyone knows you speak it. Then medicine. Trauma surgery in the field. How to keep someone alive for 4 hours with what's in your kit. You graduate. You are now a Delta Force operator. You have no patch, no insignia, no unit identifier on your uniform. You are officially assigned to a unit that does not exist. Level 3. The first mission. Afghanistan, 2003. A compound outside Kandahar. High-value target. Taliban commander. Responsible for 3 roadside bombs that killed 7 American soldiers. Your team is 4 operators. You go in at 2 a.m. The intelligence says 2 guards. There are 6. You adapt. 4 minutes later, the compound is clear. The target is zip-tied on the floor, looking up at you. He's 53 years old. He looks like someone's grandfather. You zip-tie someone's grandfather and put him in a helicopter, and he disappears into a system that will process him for years. You fly back. You eat breakfast. You go to sleep. You wake up and there's another file on your bunk. That's the job. Level 4. The moment that changes you. Iraq, 2005. A hostage rescue. British contractor. Held for 19 days. A house in Fallujah. Your team hits the house at 3 a.m. You clear the first floor in 40 seconds. Second floor, you go through a door. The hostage is there. So is a guard. The guard has his weapons pointed at the hostage. You have 1 second. You take the shot. The hostage is alive. You get him out. On the helicopter, he grabs your arm. He says, "You saved my life." You nod. You don't say anything, because what you're thinking is this. The shot you took was based on 1 second of information in a dark room. What if the information was wrong? What if that wasn't a guard? You'll never know for certain. You'll think about that 1 second for the rest of your life. Level 5, the team leader. You run your own teams now, 6 operators. You plan the missions, you make the calls. You are the last person who sees every piece of intelligence before boot hits the ground. Syria, 2015. ISIS financial network. A man who moves money that pays for bombs that kill people. Not a fighter, an accountant. The intelligence says he's in an apartment building, 3rd floor, 1 guard. You go through every photograph, every signal intercept, every source report. The intelligence is solid. You approve it. Your team hits the building, 3rd floor. The accountant is there. So is his family, wife, 2 children. Nobody briefed you on the family. Your team secures the accountant. The wife is screaming. The children are screaming. You stand in that apartment for 45 seconds while your team does what it needs to do. 45 seconds that you did not plan for. You fly back. You write the debrief. You do not write about the 45 seconds. You write about the accountant. He gives up the network in 72 hours. 14 bomb plots disrupted. You think about the 45 seconds anyway. At 3 a.m. for years. Level 6, the Squadron commander. You run a squadron now. 200 operators. The most capable fighting force on the planet. And you spend most of your time in meetings. Budget reviews, intelligence briefings, coordination calls with CIA, NSA, JSOC. The politics at this level are a different kind of war. You fight for resources, you fight for mission authority, you fight for the right to do the job the way the job needs to be done. A mission comes through, a target in Pakistan. The intelligence is 60% confident, 60%. That means 40% chance you send your people into the wrong building. Washington wants the mission approved. You push back. They push harder. You approve it. Your team goes in. The target is there. The mission is a success. You sit with the 60% for a long time afterward, because next time it might be the 40. Level 7, the commander. You are the commanding officer of Delta Force. Officially, commanding officer, 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta. The unit that doesn't exist has a commanding officer. You brief the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. You brief the Secretary of Defense. You brief the president. In rooms where what you say determines whether people live or die. Not your people, other people's people. Civilians in cities where operations go wrong. Soldiers from other units who are holding ground while you do what you do. You carry that. A mission in Somalia. Your operators go in to extract a target. The target is dead when they arrive. Bad intelligence. Your operators are now in a city that knows they're there. 3 hours. You are on the phone for 3 hours coordinating the extraction. Everyone comes home. You sit in the operations center after. You think about what 3 hours means. You think about the 45 seconds in Syria. You think about the 1 second in Fajullah. You think about everything that happens in the moments between decisions. You pour a coffee. You look at the next file. Level 8, the ghost. You retire after 22 years. There is no ceremony. That's by design. A handshake, a quiet room, a man you worked with for 15 years who says, "Good work." That's it. You move to a house somewhere. You don't tell people what you did. You can't. The classification doesn't expire. At dinner parties, people ask what you did in the army. You say, logistics. They nod. They move on. You think about Fajilla, about Syria, about the 60% decision, about 43 hostages who came home. Nobody knows any of it. Not your neighbors, not your family, not the people whose lives were different because of what you did in rooms that don't exist in buildings that aren't on maps. You walk the perimeter of your property at night. Old habit. You can't turn it off. You'll never turn it off. Somewhere right now, a ranger is reading a notice. One paragraph, no unit name, a time and a location, bring nothing that identifies you. The cycle continues. It always continues.